if you guys are willing to pool some money and help us with a down payment, we are ready to buy. Wagwan LITJAM Massive, welcome back to the channel. And
kind of crooked, no?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Maybe my head is just lean.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking to you about something that I feel like everybody should be open and okay to talk about. And it's about us living in New York on just one income. This guy's income.
Right.
Don't know.
I thought we were going to talk about how bright your shirt is and how it's like
blinding
killing
everyone.
I'm like, oh god.
I don't know, I got this shirt. Remember we did a fashion haul? When I did the misguided fashion haul.
Spring, I think.
I got this shirt and I haven't really worn it, and then I got makeup on it. Anyways, so today we're gonna be talking about living in New York City, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world and in the country, on just one income. Yeah, you heard me right. One income. Yeah.
I think they heard you.
So, without further ado.
How many incomes?
One income. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
So for you guys that do live in New York or have been to New York or you live nearby, you guys know that life here is not cheap.
Yep.
Right? You make good money, right? But then you spend a lot of that good money too.
Yes, absolutely.
So just to give you an idea of how much it costs to live here, I actually found this on the website. I just looked it up. The average rent in New York City in 2019 is $3,500, right?
For a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom?
Just average.
Just average rent.
1 bedroom is just under $3,000. 2 bedrooms is $3,800. So right in between that.
And you know prices vary based on what borough you live in.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Because we just moved from one borough to another, and we're paying twice the amount that we paid in the previous one.
Right.
Right. So if you didn't know, we used to live in the Bronx, and now we live in Manhattan.
Right.
And it's just like
we didn't move that far.
Started from the bottom, and now the money is here. So it's crazy ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's the average rents. We're not gonna get into like crazy specifics, right?
Right.
But like, let's say if you cross the river in Jersey, like take out like Jersey City or like Hoboken, it's way cheaper to live there. But then you lose the convenience and access to the city.
Right. And that's just like a 30-minute drive from the closest point in the city.
Right. If you drive, if
you go to the next state, because you have to like put it into perspective for people who are outside of the U.S. too.
Right.
So
it's still like reasonably close.
Let me give you an idea. I grew up in Portland, right?
I'm gonna just sip my tea.
So St. Mary is right next to Portland, and that's kind of how close New York is to New Jersey. So if you are paying, for example, $3,000 for rent in Portland, which would be New York in this case, you drive over to St. Mary, your rent is $1,000, just like that. And that's just rent. So we're gonna be talking about other things, but yeah. So they have this program called affordable housing, which is not affordable at all. So
let me tell you guys how that works, right? So like if a new building comes up or if there's like renovations in an old one, the building can catch a tax break by renting several of its units below market price to people in between a certain income range that New York City determines is affordable.
Right.
So to give you an example, if you make, let's say, $30,000 a year, your affordable rent for a 1 bedroom might be like $800 or $900, which is ridiculous. Which if you make that much, it's not affordable, right?
Yeah.
If you make like $100,000, your rent is gonna be like $2,500. So it's like, nah, it's not that affordable, right?
Right.
So forget about that, right?
Yeah, let's talk like about different topics, because we could talk about housing forever. I'm telling you. So let's talk about buying a house and talk about like the down payments that is ridiculous. And yeah, you get first time buyers loan credits and stuff like that. But I remember recently when we did, we were hunting for an apartment and we did a video, people were saying, oh, you guys should just buy. If you guys are willing to pool some money and help us with a down payment, we are ready to buy. Because Simas is the only one that's working, right? I'm still in school. I have 3 classes left.
But wait, we're in the US. We have to pay tuition.
We have to pay tuition. That's another thing. we can't. It's many things to talk about. So yeah, we cannot like afford a down payment right now. In New York, where we're living right now, a down payment goes for at least $50,000, and you have to come.
That's for a shack, though.
Right, and you have to come up with that $50,000 to be ready to pay. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
I think you're wrong because it's more than that.
Yeah. I'm just giving an average.
Right. Yeah,
right.
20%.
That's 25%.
Yeah.
It's 25%, no? 20? Yeah, 20%. Or you have some really like programs where you do a 5%.
Yeah, but then your mortgage goes up.
But then your mortgage is really high. So people think that we haven't, I don't know, if people assume that we haven't done research or looked into it about buying a house, we have. But even if we go across the river to Jersey, right? How much is the down payment?
Well, down payment is still a lot, right? Like, let's say we cut the 50K to like 30, which we could, I mean, if we really scrambled, we could probably figure something out. But then we lose access to the city, which means you can't get to school because you're still learning to drive, right?
That's a different story.
But then we gotta pay out-of-state tuition. Then we can't move to Jersey.
Then you gotta pay out-of-state tuition, right?
All right, so tuition then.
Tuition. So I go to a city school, as I was saying before, and he used to go to a city school when he was doing his bachelor's.
Right.
So my tuition is fairly cheap compared to private school tuition. So I pay $5,000 per semester.
If you guys are watching from Europe, $5,000 a semester is like, wait, what? Why do you pay that?
Yeah.
Why don't you get paid to go to school, right?
And when I just came here, I didn't get financial aid. My stepdad made too much, or he was a city worker or something. You know how it goes.
Yep.
So when I signed up, I didn't get aid. So I had to figure out a way to pay it off myself. So I took out loans, and then eventually, with
those loans are gonna come back
to bite me in my rear end. And then in the end, when I moved out and started living with Simas, our tax return allowed us to pay from tax return straight into tuition. So the tax return wasn't it just reciprocated back into tuition. So every money that we make right now goes directly towards bills, tuition, bills, tuition, bills, tuition.
What about bills and tuition?
Bills,
bills and
tuition. Yeah. What about you, bro?
Well, we also, sometimes we gotta eat.
Right. No, I was talking about your tuition.
Oh, my tuition is $5,500 for 2 classes, which is what I take per semester. So my whole program is about $30,000 for the master's. So it's not very affordable, but for a master's, that's considered extremely cheap by American standards.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that think of it as like an investment, right? So we're putting ourselves into like, I don't know, like a safety net type of situation, I guess.
Yeah, we're
like,
setting the mud.
The foundation.
The foundation.
The foundation in order to be successful, right?
Yes.
So we can get jobs now, right? Like you already worked, I already work, but we're not satisfied to be like we need more opportunity to like advance further, because we could already get okay jobs and do better than we do now, but like that's where we're like let's struggle, and then like hopefully we're gonna shoot up and like live in a mansion one day.
Because I used to work, right?
Yeah, but you had to.
And because things happened and I like owed my school $5,000. So I had to quit the semester, go find a job, pay off the $5,000, and then go right back into school, which is one of the reasons why I haven't graduated yet. So you guys see us and we're happy, we're always smiling. Everybody has their problems in their lives, but we have real problems because we're immigrants, It just like comes with the term immigration.
Yes.
Right.
So
let's talk about food.
Let's talk about food, right? So
because I love food.
I love food too. So we like to once in a while go out, eat, and grab something. It's usually nice, but usually what we do is go to the grocery store or order something.
Yeah.
We like sometimes if we go to Jersey and like buy food there, we save a lot of money, I think, because it's a lot cheaper. But like if we go to the grocery store here in the city, it's like damn. Like remember my parents were here yesterday.
Yeah.
And we went to the little market. And mom was like, "Oh, these bananas are like 80 cents a pound." What? She like you
like,
go to Wegmans.
You
go to Wegmans in Jersey. It's like 20 cents. Like what are you guys paying over here, right?
That's another thing. The quality of the food in New York City.
Oh,
where
in
the neighborhoods that
Yo.
we lived in and where we live now, one particular store, very poor quality of food. The fruits are like dying
molded,
on the shelves.
yeah.
They're molded. It's pretty bad, and it's sad because these are in the less fortunate neighborhoods, and nobody is really saying anything because, you know, you feel like you don't have any power, but thank God we have Captain 311 over here. Simmons reports everything to 311 like that he feels like shouldn't be. So
I'm a justice warrior.
Yep, but
there's things that piss me off about the city, right? Because like everybody, when you guys see New York on TV or come visit for the first time, if you haven't lived here, you see like the glitz and glamour of like Times Square, and like you come and like to like look up at the World Trade Center and it's like, oh my God, the city.
And then you breathe in and the air stinks, especially if you go to 34th Street. It smells like dog doo-doo.
What about Jamaica Center?
Jamaica Center, it smells like straight up urination.
What about Queens Plaza?
Queens Plaza, oh my God, I caught a woman there peeing on the platform.
All the time.
So
on a regular basis.
New York City, to a tourist, it looks very appealing, but to somebody that lives here, you already know what it is. It's great. The city is great. You feel like they said, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, right, Smith?
Absolutely.
But
that's like we keep our windows closed, right?
I don't know what else to say.
So you got, again, coming back to New York. That's what we're talking about. That's where we are. The MTA.
MTA should be like.
So if you guys watch the news, you guys have seen what's going on in the poor neighborhoods here. A lot of areas that are coincidentally populated by faces that don't look like mine.
Faces that look like mine, and Spanish faces, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of police that have popped up, and like they're monitoring the turnstiles, and it's completely wrong in every sense of the way, because the trains are crumbling. They're always broken down. Like yesterday, we wanted to go out and we couldn't because
the train was cut off.
Running.
Yeah, it didn't stop at our stop.
It went to the wealthy neighborhoods, but then past that,
86th Street, good, train is running. 59th Street. Good, train is running.
And 96th Street.
And 96th Street.
And 72nd Street.
Good.
Forget the
but
100s.
But automatically, when you go up to the 100s, the 200s, no train. So I'm wondering, like, do these people not take the train too? Yeah. But there is such a divide in New York City, and you hear the North is the more like diverse and accepting. It is, I guess, compared to the South, but it's still not there yet.
Yeah.
And there's much more work that needs to be done. Yeah.
But again, my biggest problem that I wanted to address, and this actually happened right outside of our window, the protests just the other day, like people are protesting because, first of all, the fares are $2.75. When just a few years ago they were like
$2.25. Even when
less.
I came, when I came it was $2.25.
When I came to the US, it was like less than $1, right? But the minimum wage was still like about the same. So the issue is that the MTA is investing money in policing rather than fixing up the train. So the train is disgusting, the train stinks, the train is this and that. But now they're hopping the turnstiles, and that's the problem. So there's a lot of tension, rightfully so, between a lot of communities here in the city and the police and the type of community efforts, I guess, that they theoretically take. But realistically, like, there's stuff happening right in front of you. They don't care, but let a kid hop a turnstile, oh man, the guns are gonna come out.
It's like the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah, but let's circle back to living here and the struggles. Like these people that jump over the turnstiles, of course, some of them are just knuckleheads that are looking for trouble, like any other place. But most people just, like $2.75 is too much for them to afford. And it's a lot for us too, of course. It's not nothing, but like if I could avoid that fare, I absolutely would, but I don't want to get shot, so...
I feel like the video was kind of a rant. What do you think?
Kinda, but it's basically like we have to like vent to people sometimes because we vent to each other and then we're tired of it, you know?
Guys, anyways, that's it for this video, and hopefully you enjoyed our rant. But that's our honesty. That's our take on living in New York. And let us know if you live in the city too. Let us know how it is for you, and if you live outside of the city and you couldn't imagine living like that, please leave it in the comments too.
Also, other American cities that we visited, we saw different struggles over there. Like LA, completely different world. Miami, another story altogether. You know, every single city has its own issues, so we're not saying ours are worse, but we're from New York, so yeah.
We have to exaggerate things.
So
anyways, guys.